Cobra Kai Season 6, Part 2. My thoughts. Okay, my review. Now, I haven't been able to do a review. I saw this a few weeks ago, and I've just been unbelievably busy, and I've been having some things to say about it that I've been thinking, how am I kind of putting it off? And I have to say, the first two seasons of Cobra Kai were number one. There is nothing in TV that can beat that for me on how to revive a franchise from the 80s, okay, like 40 years later. And having been the first Cobra Kai YouTuber and content creator and all that stuff, I was making Cobra Kai videos back when it was just on YouTube Red, when the first season was just coming out. And it was so freaking fun for me. It was such an unbelievable time. I really loved it. And I still love it. But man, I was just so motivated to make content. There was a lot to cover and a lot to have fun with. And those first two seasons were amazing. Now, I feel like with season 6, part 2, we're way past, where's Ali? Is Miguel going to wake up from the coma? Like, we are so far beyond any of that stuff. And those were like the I would say like the prime days, the glory days of Cobra Kai. Now, we've introduced some of my favorite characters. Terry Silver, fantastic acting. Fantastic acting by the whole cast. John, Josh, and Hayden have revived the franchise brilliantly. But there are a few things that I do question. And I feel like, there's only so much that you can have with Johnny and Daniel bickering and doing their thing. There's only so much you can have with Kreese and Johnny having their father-son, sort of quarrel. With Silver and Daniel, there's only so much you can have of that. With Chosen getting drunk and having issues, there's only so much of that you can have too. Which, I didn't want to see. I wanted to see more of like the Chosen or maybe like a cross somewhat between the serious, honorable Chosen that we know, serious Chosen, and this like very goofy, comedical, and it's not really Chosen to me, but whatever. I feel like season 6, part 2, where are they going to take these characters? And so they decided, let's do a blood sport spin off, Kumite, and the Sekai Taikai. And okay, they do that. But I miss kind of covering Johnny and Daniel. And I think the hardest part that the big three have, whoa, excuse me, that the big three have with writing this is the fact that you have so many characters now, and it's like, how do you keep track of them? And this is one of the things that I asked them when I did the interview with them years ago, was how do you keep track of so many characters when you have to focus on the main few of Johnny and Daniel? Because really, this show started out with Johnny being the main character. And they had a brilliant answer, and you can go check out that interview if you want. They also interviewed the maker of Karate Kid, Robert Mark Kamen, which was a fantastic interview as well. I learned a lot from him. So I kind of feel like at this point we've really, segued a lot from Johnny and Daniel while still having some moments with them, but really a lot about the kids, which is great, and it's good for where they want to take it because they want to continue the franchise, but most likely with the kids. And I just wonder what's going to happen with Johnny and Daniel. Now, so far, the moment that really, stuck out to me was when Johnny was talking to the kids, to the students, when they were losing the tournament, when they were losing the Sekai Takai. And he was kind of embodying how he feels through failing the All Valley, through losing the All Valley all those years ago, and how he feels like a loser. And he's like, if you lose this tournament, your lives are going to be shit. You're going to amount to nothing. Blah, blah, blah. It's going to follow you. It's going to haunt you. And it's kind of like how he felt. You're just seeing essentially him projecting how he feels. And it was really cool to get that insight, even more so once again, now that he's much more, progressed as a character near the end of the entire show. So that was, for me, was neat. Seeing seeing Daniel in the cage, like these are like uh, very Terry Silver moves, and only Terry Silver kind of things can really pass off, but really be acceptable. These kinds of movements for Terry Silver because he's such a evil villain in a comic book character. He's so over the top, and he's just that's just the way he is, and it works for him. But if you were to put Daniel in a dog cage in a scenario in any other way or any setting, I'd be like, what the heck is going on? Okay. Seeing Dennis again, my good friend, William Christopher Ford, seeing him in there, was great. I liked having him in there again. That was fun. He just can't catch a break from Daniel, man. But he did improve a little bit at least. Uh, Mike Barnes, I'd love to see Mike Barnes in this one, but really, like, how many characters are they going to be able to throw in, right? And him losing to Johnny in the previous season or whatever part, I don't agree with that at all. And I didn't agree with Terry Silver losing to Daniel either, but we can talk about that in maybe a different video. Um, you just can't have characters that are supposed to be the peak, the epitome, being beaten by, because it's like, well, where do we go from here, kind of thing. So, anyways, the Sekai Taikai turned into a frenzy at the end of it. The kids overcame a lot of obstacles. They incorporated a lot of Miyagi-Do, a lot of Cobra Kai, a lot of Eagle Fang, and Kenny got his redemption. And there's a lot of character development there with the characters as well. However, overall, I'm wondering now. Kreese wanted to literally stab Silver to death, and then everyone's just standing there surprised that Quan got stabbed. Oh no, a death. It's like, well, you guys were all pretty much killing each other anyway. what what is like what's the big surprise? What did you think was going to happen? Someone was probably going to break a neck or something, right? And that's really where I was like, all right, well, where do we go from here? Are they all just going to kind of shake hands and be like, all right, that's it? So you had the bigger villain, which was Kreese coming in and his masters coming in and their karate coming in, and then you had the bigger villain on top of that, or the side villain was Terry Silver, and how he's going to incorporate all of what he knows and become this other threat. And then you have Johnny and Daniel, and it's like the next part to this. What's really going to happen? I think Kreese is going to have some sort of a defining moment, a redeeming moment for him, and we can kind of see his character trajectory where he's probably going to sacrifice himself for Johnny. And Johnny's his weakness, and I think he's going to sacrifice himself for Johnny's life, and it's going to completely rock Johnny's world, and it's probably going to be the closure that he needed. Because in a weird way, it'll show him that his, father figure actually cares for him, and he's going to be able to put all that behind him, and it's going to really seal Kreese's story as being a hero, which is kind of what he always wanted to be, always was, especially in the army. So, Silver, I think, will go out as like some sort of a coward unless they introduce some new character who's even badder than all of these guys. I still seeing it being, Silver being kind of the top dude, top evil guy. Overall, it was entertaining. I had fun, and I'm looking forward to the next part sometime whenever it does come out. I think it's May or April or something. And looking forward to seeing your guys' reactions to it too. Now, I just did watch the Karate Kid Legends trailer, and I have to say that has me really pumped because it's got that Asian feel to it, like Mr. Miyagi would always bring to the scene. This like mystical Asian martial arts and like wisdom and energy, and it has that essence to it, and I'm drawn to that. I think that's really what we're missing. I think Chosen was supposed to bring that, but he became a little too goofy for me. But you guys let me know in the comments below. And this is coming from a OG Karate Kid fan. So some of the newer guys that love Cobra Kai or got introduced to Karate Kid or haven't even seen Karate Kid, but just Cobra Kai, let me know how you feel too. And then the OGs who watched Karate Kid back when it came out in the 80s, let me know how you feel too. Curious to see what everyone thinks of the show, where it's going, where it's progressed, where it's been, how it started, and how it's finishing. Thanks so much for watching my review, my breakdown. I love Cobra Kai, and I cannot wait to watch part 3 and the finale of this entire beautiful series. No mercy.